So what are the takeaways for borrowers given this environment? Um, First thing I would tell you is if you are a buyer and you've been on the sidelines, kind of keeping an eye on things, but you're not sure it's a good time, again, your brother-in-law is in your ear telling you, no, 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 you got to wait for rates to fall, you got to wait for home prices to fall. I would tell you, ignore that advice and instead stay close to the market. Keep an eye on what's going on. Look at our rate grid every day. And, part of the challenge here is some of the data that comes out. First, you got to, I say, ignore the headlines, dive into the data a little bit yourself with an open mind and see what you can do to interpret what's going on. Because what you're going to find is, we're hearing some negative things like, home builder confidence is down. The inventory of homes for sale has gone up. The days on market for listing has become more extended. The number of homes actively listed has grown. But by the way, we're not back to a normal, 6 months of supply. We're more like 4.5 months supply. But those kind of data points and the headlines that go with them lead you to believe that the housing market is really suffering. Well, I would push back against that a little bit. So that's why I say you should stick close to what's going on in the market and realize that in fact this could be a good opportunity. Rates may dip a little bit here, particularly if the Fed does follow through with what the futures market says is a strong, strong possibility of lowering the Fed funds rate in September. If they do, it's only going to be 0.25% most likely. And again, that's not going to mean a correlation to a direct decrease in the mortgage conforming 30-year fixed mortgage rate by the same amount immediately. That's not going to happen. But it's an incremental improvement that over time may allow for some dip in interest rates that could be an opportunity for those of you on the sidelines waiting to buy, but being told to wait for rates to get a lot lower, because that's not going to happen. Remember, Fannie Mae has projected by the end of 25, mortgage rates might get down to 6.1. Well, guess what, folks? At Mortgage Works, we're almost there now. So don't wait till the end of the year to see where everybody else is at 6.1, because if they are at 6.1 at the end of the year, we'll probably be at 5 7/8, maybe 5 3/4. So that's what I would urge in terms of buyers. Stay close to the market, keep an eye on what's going on. In fact, I would tell you that existing home sale number, that increase, was expected to be 3.9 million existing home sales in July, but it ended up being over 4 million. What that tells you is there are buyers out there who are buying. Now, I've talked to a lot of realtors. Realtors in my market area are complaining there's a lack of buyers. They're not seeing enough buyers in their open houses and so forth. And of course, they're also complaining about their sellers, those who have listings. Their sellers are unreasonably, they're being unreasonable, I should say, in expecting what they can get in a price for their home. What the over 4 million existing home sales in July tells you is some buyers who are paying attention to all these data points and these conditions are actually realizing it's a good time to go out and try to buy. You have less competition from other buyers, and you've got sellers who are starting to wring their hands because their home has been on the market listed for sale longer than they expected. They thought they were going to list their home and within a couple of weeks get an offer, maybe multiple offers, and get it sold within 30 days. That's not happening. In fact, I saw a presentation this morning from a representative from the California Association of Realtors who was doing a presentation to new members of the Greater Palm Springs Realtors Association, pointing out that our local market here, days on market is now getting close to 70 days. Well, first of all, that's looked at as like an awful depressing number. Frankly, that's kind of back to normal. In good old normal times, that was expected. That was common. But right now, that's considered a negative. And so when you combine 70 days on the market and the fact that there's more inventory for sale, and then at the same time, you're hearing realtors saying, I'm not getting enough buyers coming to my open house.